Guys, we are coming at you today with a follow-up video on the $1,000 bow build. So this is the Bear Alaskan XT, just a great bow to build on. It's inexpensive, so it's made a great bow so far. We're gonna dive in talking about some of my impressions over the time I've had this bow. Around 500 arrows I have through this thing right now. And honestly, up front, I can't talk anything bad about this bow. This thing has just been awesome. But we're gonna be going through, showing you what you get with this bow, guys, and what to expect. This is all just gonna be a breakdown of what I put on this bow. If you didn't catch the first video of the bow build, definitely check it out. And actually, we've got a bunch of videos in this series, so I'll go ahead and put the whole series up here. That way you can follow along if you're interested in this bow, because you know there's a lot of videos out on YouTube with this bow, but the more you watch, the more you want to get one of these bows. And I really want to show you what you're getting with one of these, because it's just that good of a bow. First up, Bear Alaskan XT. This was just the base bow. It didn't come with any accessories or anything like that, so you're gonna save a lot of money if you're looking to build one out yourself. And I picked this thing up for around 500 bucks, and that was tax and everything. So you can find them right now a little bit cheaper, and I'm sure they're gonna have sales throughout the year as well. So it was like $479 before tax, and then with tax it was around 500 bucks. So really good deal on this bow. And honestly, this thing is rock solid, guys. I mean, it just looks good. Look at this powder coated finish on this thing. Man, these mosquitoes are bad. Powder coated finish all over the riser, all over the limbs. Makes this thing really stand out as far as being tough. Starting at the top of the bow here with the limbs, very nice looking limbs. And I like how Bear does their design of the limbs. So they're thick here, and then they taper out to being real thin, and then it's opposite this way, real thin, and then it flares out this way. It doesn't have the 1/4 inch axles. I wish it would have had the 1/4 inch axles, but they're a little bit smaller. Now, I have heard of some issues with the bearings going out in this. I know Podium Archer did one for Tim Connor, and it was a little bit messed up. The bearings were from the factory. I haven't had that experience. I don't know if anybody else has. That's going to be with any bow, guys. I think it's a little hit and miss on some of those. But I haven't had any issues with any of the tuning, with any of the components going bad on this thing at all. Just a really solid cam system too. So you can see right here, we have a lot of adjustability. It does have a cable stop, and we'll show you a little bit of the draw cycle, kind of how that cable stop plays into it. And if I'm not mistaken, I think you can get a limb stop for this. I'm not real sure, don't hold me to that. I believe there is a limb stop that you can get for this. But nonetheless, I kind of like the cable stop on this, just because I think for me, it gives me a little bit more of a valley to work with. So if I want to put a little bit more pressure on it, I can. As long as you're being consistent with it, I don't think it's going to mess anything up. But I think personally, it gives me a little bit more of a valley to mess with. That way it's not just solid back wall. And sometimes I find that some of those really want to jump off that wall really, really fast. With a cable stop like this, it's a little bit more subtle. It's got to hang back on the back wall a little bit more and give you more of a valley back there. But a lot of adjustability with the cam module right here. So you can switch this out to match your draw length. So that little circle right there will have your draw length. And then this little draw stop right here, it can be moved to correlate with your draw length as well. Overall, the cables and the string have held up good. I mean, it's 500 shots through this, so nothing crazy. But I haven't seen like any serving separation or anything like that. No wear spots. I think the only one that I'm seeing a little bit of is right down here. You can kind of see it's a little bit discolored. And I think that's because it's just rubbing on the side of this cam module a little bit, but nothing crazy. It's not separating or anything like that. It's just getting a little discolored. I think it's just wearing just a little bit, but nothing crazy. That's the only place I see any wear indications at all on this bow. Nothing up here. It has the split yokes up here. So if you're looking to keep it classic with the tuning department, this right here is what's been on bows for decades now. So very easily to tune this up, change your cam lean, that kind of stuff, which I didn't have any cam lean with this bow. Nothing that's out of the ordinary. So we didn't have to do any tuning with this. It was in time right out of the box. So way to go, Bear. I know not everybody's bow is going to be like that, but I didn't have to do anything with this besides throw a rest on it, paper tune it, and take it out to the range. That's all I had to do, and it paper tuned really, really quick. I mean, finding the center shot on this thing was almost effortless. I mean, it was very easily paper tuned. With this bow, you do get some of their limb dampeners here. I don't know what they call them. They work pretty good. You do get a metal cast limb pocket up here. Now, the plastic internals are there, so it's not a full metal limb pocket, but it does have metal caps on it. So that's nice. Moving down the riser here, just an awesome looking riser. I mean, look at this. It's very straight. Not going to be a lot of reflex, so that's going to be nice and forgiving for the shooter. Very modern looking riser. I mean, if I didn't know it and I saw somebody holding one of these and shooting it, it almost looks like a Bowtech, almost. Until you get up close and you're like, okay, it says Alaskan on it and it's got Bear, the Fred Bear Way posted on the side. So very nice riser. It does have some rubber dampeners right here. And it has it at the top as well. And I just love the way they remove so much metal from this. And now it is a cast riser. That's how they get by with keeping the price down. Now, I don't see any issues with a cast. It's just not gonna be as premium as if it were a machined aluminum riser, which I could care two shits less, you know, with it being milled out. But for 500 bucks, guys, I mean, a cast riser, it's gonna do the same thing as a machined riser would do. And that's kind of where Bear is saving all the money on this as far as the production goes. There's not going to be a lot of research and development that has to go into these compared to like a Matthews or something like that, where they just put millions and millions into research and development into these bows. And that's where it eats up all the money. So they have to get that back somehow. That's why they bump up the price tags on these bows to kind of offset that research and development. And then all the machining that goes into it. I mean, that is a lot of man hours that goes into machining out those risers. It's just a lot of work. That's kind of what the price tag entails on those flagship bows. With this, you're getting still, you know, fairly premium products, but they're just a lot cheaper to make. There's not as much assembly that goes into it as there would be if you're getting full machine parts, which are just the top of the line. But guys, you don't have to have those to get into archery. You don't have to have those to get out there and have a nice performing bow either. So that's enough on the rant with the machine parts and that kind of stuff. But this riser is really nice. Even though it is cast, you can see it's a caged riser. So it's open. Down here, it's not open. But down here, you can see open again, just all the way through, just caged out. So nice and strong, and also a little bit lighter weight. So moving on down the bow here, you can see we do have a Spot Hogg Fast Eddie XL mounted to the side here, but this thing does have a Picatinny rail on the front. So the pick rail is going to be more in line with the modern stuff that you're seeing out there. Now, I wish I could have found like a mount or something like that for a Spot Hogg or something else like that. I couldn't really find a lot out there that wasn't like just a multi-pin sight housing that could match up to this. So I didn't really go for that, but you know, the Fast Eddie XL mounts on the side really good. So for the bow build, this sight has been working awesome. I mean, no complaints with the Spot Hogg at all. This thing is just rock solid. And I mean, for 300 bucks, it should be, I would hope so. But if you're looking to build one of these out and you don't want to spend 289 bucks on a sight, guys, there is a ton out there. Like I said, on my Diamond SB Deploy, I shoot that Apex covert sight, and I freaking love it. It does the same exact thing that this one does. It's just 200 bucks cheaper. So definitely check one of those out. You're going to save a ton of money on your sight. And there's the CBE, I think it's the Tactics out there. I'll put all the links to the alternative options that aren't on this bow, but are some highly recommended products I would put on a bow. I'll put those in the description box as well. So you don't have to spend $1,000 on a bow build if you didn't want to. You can definitely shave off some of the higher price items on there and still have a really rock solid bow. So now for the $1,000 bow build, we did do the Trophy Ridge Hex Light quiver, but I don't shoot with a quiver on. I usually just attach that to my hunting pack. But it's a rock solid quiver that's going to hold and contain your arrows very well. So that's why we got that one. But if you didn't want to do that, and I would strongly recommend this right here. So we have the 10-inch Trophy Ridge Hitman stabilizer up front. We do have the quick detach mount up here. We got the Trophy Ridge Hitman sling, and then the Trophy Ridge Hitman back bar. So one cool thing about this back bar is it can be mounted in 2 different locations here. Down low to keep the center of gravity down, or on up here, or you can use the mount and attach it from the front, which is what I was doing on my previous bow. But that's one cool thing about this Bear Alaskan XT is it gives you several different mounting options for your back bar. And we have just the 8-inch ran off the back here, and we got the weight matched up perfectly. So I'm going to do a future video on the breakdown of how you need to have your weight set up on your front bar versus your back bar, kind of balance it out the way you need it. But that video is going to follow. But that is one cool thing. I've been loving the way the center of gravity is on this. Nice and low, feels really good in the hand. And it's just a really cool kit. So I would strongly recommend, instead of buying the Hex-Light quiver, spend a lot less on the quiver. Get just one of their, I think it's like a $35 option. I'll put that in the description box as well. Still a good quiver, and it's going to keep the price down, and then that way you can get your back bar set. I think total for the 10-inch and the 8-inch back bar here, I want to say it's around 120 or 150 bucks. So not too bad there. It's definitely going to offset the price if you don't get the quiver, or if you spend a lot less on your sight. Oh, we missed it right here. So moving down the bow, one cool thing I like about this is it does have a roller guard. So the roller guard has been awesome. There's no wear or tear on the cables whatsoever. Now, they went to a roller guard this year because the previous Alaskan didn't have that. It just had one of the plastic jobs right here, and it was chewing up the cables. This right here completely has fixed that. I mean, this is only probably like a $20 or $30 roller guard, but it seems to be really good. Has some nice bearings in it, a little bit bigger bearings, and it seems to be really good. It's quiet. I mean, there is no cable slide noise at all. It's super quiet, and it's been doing its job. It hasn't chewed up the cables at all. Now, another cool thing about this bow, you can see right here, you have the ability to adjust how far your cables are away from your center shot. That is one thing that you see on a lot of flagship bows, not a $500 bow. You can loosen that bolt up, and you can cant the cable guard away even more. That way you can compensate if you have bigger vanes or something like that, bigger fletchings, or if you're just using that to tune your bow a little bit differently, you can do that as well. So really nice option on the XT. Moving on down, we have some more technology here. I'm going to give you some impressions of how this Propel rest has been working, but you do have the Integrate mount back here. So it's just a little slot that's cut out of the back there, and you can see how we don't have to use the burger holes to mount this rest. It just mounts right onto the back of the riser here. So we have this Trophy Ridge Propel limb-driven rest. See, we have it tied off down here. It's been working great, guys. I mean, I haven't had any issues with this thing not being in time or anything like that. It's just been launching the arrows perfectly. So, I mean, for 80 bucks, I think it's a pretty good little option, especially if you're trying to use that Integrate style mount. And I think this thing is great. I mean, definitely give it a try if you're looking for a good limb-driven rest. I don't think you can go wrong with the Propel, and you're gonna save a lot of cash doing it. Or throw an old Whisker Biscuit on there and you're gonna be just fine. Those things are just rock solid, bulletproof. I've never had any issues with a Whisker Biscuit. This is not how the XT comes as far as the grip. This is the Bear Paw grip by Bear. Strongly recommend getting this grip. So when we initially did the build, we didn't have the Bear Paw grip on there. I've been shooting, you know, around the 300 arrow mark, give or take. I was like, man, this grip's a little too thin for my liking. So we bought the $20 Bear Paw grip, and I'll tell you, it's made a world of difference. So strongly recommend getting the Bear Paw grip. It's just super easy to put on, and it fills out the hand a lot better. It added, overall this way, it added 1/4 of an inch and almost 1/4 of an inch in thickness. So, and it has a little palm swell too. Definitely fills out the hand a little bit more, because before shooting it right off the riser, just a little bit too thin. And I'm sure a lot of people have found that out too. A little bit too thin for everybody's liking. But that's the cool thing about Bear, is you can get this bear paw grip and throw it on there, and it's gonna fix pretty much all the issues, and you're gonna like it a lot better. So at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you can take it right back off and probably shoot it just right off the riser. So strongly recommend the bear paw grip though. Moving on down, you do have a standard little string stop here. Now I have been seeing a little bit of wear on the string stop, and what I'm gonna have to do is take this little bar out and trim it down a little bit, because I took the screws out and tried to push this thing in to give it a little bit more relief, because it's a little bit too close to that string. That's why it's wearing a little bit, but it's as far in as it can go. So we're gonna have to take that out, probably trim it down just a little bit, and then get that string stop away from that string a little bit. I mean, it's not wearing like crazy bad. Honestly, if it wears on down, it's probably gonna be better. It's gonna create its own relief, but it's not wearing the string or anything. So, I mean, it's doing its job, so can't complain too much. Wish they'd have probably just trimmed that down, gave you the option to kind of go in with it a little bit more than what it is. So I've already hit on the stabilizer set. Strongly recommend this Hitman stabilizer. Very inexpensive. You don't have to go out there and buy top of the line stabilizers. This right here gets it done, guys. Very inexpensive, simple, and you get all the accessories you need, like the quick disconnects. You get the sling right there, and it just complements this bow very, very well. As far as the follow-up goes, I haven't had any issues, guys. No issues with the tuning, with the string stretching, nothing like that. Like I said, the only thing that I've had issue with, and I talked about this in the last video, is the string twist. So I don't know if they just messed up from the factory or whatever. The string does have a lot of twist in it. So when you pull back, I have to set my peep pretty much sideways, and my D loop is just a little bit sideways, and then when I'm at full draw, it brings it straight. It shouldn't be that way. On all my other bows that I've set up, the peep is straight when it's resting, and it's straight when I'm at full draw. This one has some type of twist in it, and I'm not a professional, so if I took this to a professional, they could probably fix this. But there you go. That is kind of the only issue I've had with it. I know a lot of people have talked trash about the strings. The string quality I don't think is bad. I think it's only just the way this one was set up. So the string aside, zero issues. I think the only issue I've seen, like we said, is, you know, rubbing down here, or a little bit of wear on that cable. Other than that, the bear paw grip kind of fixed my issues with the grip being too thin. Like I said, we switched that around the 300 arrow mark. Now we're sitting around 500 arrows through this. This thing slings arrows very straight. I mean, once you get it to shooting bullet holes on paper, this thing does the rest. I mean, I will say it's a little heavy. So I do get fatigued a little bit, but I did come from shooting literally the lightest bow on the market, the Diamond SB Deploy carbon bow, 3 pounds. I mean, this thing's probably sitting at, you know, probably 6 pounds fitted out, maybe even a little bit more. It's a very heavy bow, but that's what makes it really stable when you're out there shooting it. Is it's really heavy, but it doesn't, like if there's wind, it doesn't move that much. And if you're shaking, it kind of holds in place because it's so heavy. It has a really wide stance with these limbs being so wide, and it just makes it a really stable platform. So I can't talk trash about any of the performance related stuff on this bow. And for 2025, I don't know if they're going to come out with anything else. I don't know if they're going to make any additions to the XT or maybe beef it up. I guess we'll have to see, but I don't think there's anything as far as the bow goes that they need to fix. Really don't. Maybe upgrade the string just a little bit, and I think all your problems with this bow is going to go away. Let's go head out to the range. Let's get some shots through this and give you a good idea of kind of what you're getting into. All right, guys, so we're going to take some shots with this Bear Alaskan XT, kind of showing you what you're getting. So for the draw cycle, This thing is really good. Honestly, I picked this over a Matthews when I was at the bow shop. I literally had cash in hand. I was gonna buy a Matthews lift 29.5, and I just did not like it. I had my heart set on it too, because the draw cycle in this thing was just so much better. I mean, just very smooth, comes over really, really nice. And then the back wall, I mean, it's not rock solid. You can see it's not like rock solid, but it gives you a nice little valley to sit in. That way it's not jumping. Now the cams aren't aggressive either. So you have a lot of pull, 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 and then it kind of starts breaking off. Pull, 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 and then it's just valley. So the last like 3 to 4 inches is kind of where it breaks over. But overall, draw cycle is really, really nice. And like I said, I like those cable stops. Let's see how far this one is. Got a little mountain goat out there. .9. So this is gonna be the first shot since I've put the new sight tape on it. Boom. Right kill shot, baby. First shot. I think we're gonna bring it over just a little bit. Look at that. It's just ripping darts, baby. All right, I do have an arrow that's in here that's a lot lighter, so we're gonna have to aim a little bit lower. Boom. Aim just a little bit low. That was kill shot too. All right, let's go check these out. All right, not a bad group right there. Shoot, the last one we shot, not even one of the Carbon Express. This is one of my old ones. It's a lot lighter. Freaking right in the kill zone right there. But pretty good little group right there, all kill shots. So not a bad little group. All right, we're gonna trek back to maybe about 20 yards, 30 yards maybe, and see if we can take some shots on this goat. Now we have to go through, get all that rattlesnake territory. So let's go around this a little bit. It sucked to get bit today. All right, guys, so we moved in a little bit closer. We'll range this out and see. All right, 28.1. So a little bit shorter of a distance. Wanted to see how closely we can group these. And it's getting hot, so I ain't shooting no more targets today. So let's dial this thing down. About 28. All right, we're shooting on a kind of a big slanted hill right here. Goat's quartered to us quite a bit. Good shot right there. All right, I am gonna try to group these up this time. All right, not too bad. Oh, snap. We hit another arrow. I don't know if I broke it or not, but it definitely smacked another one. So that's a testament to how accurate these can be. Let's go check these out. All right, guys, I don't know about you, but I think it's a pretty decent group at 30 yards. Two of them, the last two shots literally slapped each other right here. I could hear it. You could probably hear it on the camera too, but they literally slapped. I mean, that's a pretty good group right here. You're looking at about 2.5 inches this way, about 2.5 inches this way. So at 30 yards, and literally just putting this sight tape on for the first time, literally before these shots, and not spending too much time with these arrows, I think this is pretty good initially. We got us a whitetail down here. Not too far on this one. 38. All right. That was a good one right there. All right, I think that's an 11 right there. All right, last one on this 38-yard shot. Kill shot. I'd say that's not too bad for 40 yards. Probably about a 5-inch group, 5-inch probably. They were all 8s or better. Can't tell, this target's so old I can't tell if that's an 11 or not, but pretty good shot right there. Guys, hopefully you like this video of the Bear Alaskan XT follow-up. And if you're looking to purchase one of these, help me out on the channel. Follow that affiliate link in the description box. And if you want to build it out, I have a ton of links to all the components that I built this thing with, as well as some additional ones, or I guess alternative ones I would use if I was looking to spend a little bit less or spend the same and get something else. So very rock solid bow, no complaints really, guys, with this bow. So highly recommend Bear Alaskan XT. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in future videos.